Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome. What's up? What's going on? Doing a live here, so not as long as I usually do, but I just kind of want to address something. And I did make a video about it too, so I'm also going to drop that video a little bit later on, but I just kind of wanted to go live and just kind of talk about this. And yeah, I must say it's it's a little weirdness. So I do believe that things is kind of going weird on here. So when you're coming in, what's going on? Hey, what's up, man? What's up, John? What's going on, man? Coffee 7. What's up? How's it going to your neck of the woods? Yeah, hopefully things go good. That wasn't good at all. That wasn't good. Dropping stuff already. Anyways, how y'all doing this evening? Gonna try restream.io soon. Cool. Yeah, it's a pretty good platform to stream on. Pretty good, I say. I mean, I like using it, but that's just me, right? Everyone has different preferences. Some people love StreamYard, and that's cool too. All right, let me just get into it. You know what? So there's an article that's circulating, and man, people must have their 5G. That's all I'm going to say. People must have their 5G because an article was written about the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro. And, one of the things that I was interested in, what's up, Isaac? Good morning to you. One of the things that I was interested in, like I said, was two things, the Tensor chip and what modem the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro had. Now, a person brought up an article, and because they were able to look at the baseband, they were able to determine what modem the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro has. And the modem that's in the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro is similar to the Exynos 5123, which is the Exynos chip. And the Exynos 5123's modem is comparable or equivalent to the Snapdragon X55 modem. Yeah, that's kind of a bummer because obviously we would have wanted something that's very close to the Snapdragon X60 for 5G connectivity and such. We would have really wanted that, but we got it very comparable to the X55. And while I'm looking at this and I'm saying to myself, okay, some people, they make good points about it. I'm not going to knock their hustle. You know what I mean? And then there are some people who are just literally there's no pass given. When the iPhone 12 released last year, there was a lot of circulation that the iPhone was going to use the Snapdragon X60 modem. But once the launch of the iPhone 12 came and they found out it was the X55, not the X60, it was like, oh, we'll give it a pass. Here's Apple's pass. Here you go. Here's the pass. You know what? You didn't use the X60. Your device is not considered future proof to some, but here's your pass. You get away with it. That always seems to happen. Big Sammy, Big Apple, they get passes if they do something that's considered undesirable. The moment that the Pixel does it and people feel like, not everybody, but just some people feel like, okay, this is my chance to run it down and to nitpick it and to just tell people, don't buy this phone, And it's like, like I said, I got a video specifically talking about this later on today that's going to drop. I also have a video addressing the tech community on concerns, and that's going to drop at 3 p.m. my time. So, yeah, lots to discuss today about. Today just happens to be one of those days where it's a discussion on the negativity of things. So, what does this ultimately mean for the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro? That having a modem that's very equivalent to the Snapdragon X55 modem. Well, obviously, the downlink and uplink cap that the X60 has is not going to be what the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro have. Here's an example. Last year's Pixel 5 the chip from Qualcomm was a Snapdragon 765G. Hey, okay, how's it going? So it was the 765G and the Pixel 5. Therefore, the modem was the Snapdragon X52 modem. Now, what I know about this modem is that it does have a cap on the data downlink and uplink. The highest capacity that the modem is able to handle is 3.42 gigabits per second, and the uplink would be 1.5. Now that's gigabit per second, not megabits per second, gigabit per second. So of course the X55 will have a much higher cap, and so would the X60. Now I get it. Everybody wants their speeds to be blazing fast. They want it to be so fast that before you even touch your screen, your phone's supposed to know what it's doing. And go and do it. I'm here to address this for anyone who's concerned when they're like, oh, okay, so if its modem is equivalent to the Snapdragon X55, then that means I shouldn't buy it because I wouldn't be able to do Facebook and Twitter and such. That is totally wrong. That's totally wrong. You'll still be able to. If no one really noticed this, or has anyone ever used like a data calculator to see exactly what is being done on their phone by doing it, you can simply do that with like the app called NPerf. NPerf running in your notifications will tell you, like what the speeds are that you're using currently at that time to load a page and everything like that. And the Facebook app or the Twitter app doesn't require not even megabits. It doesn't require megabits per second speed to open. It's still in the kilobits because there's not really much to it. There's not really much data that it needs to suck in order to open up that app, right? Because that's the most important thing when it comes to phones. The most important thing that comes to phones is software. Software is what matters. Okay, that's what you interact with every day. I hear people talk about hardware all the time. Hardware. Yes, hardware is a major factor because without hardware, what's housing the software? Duh. But most of your interactions when it comes to a phone is the software. It's your interaction with apps. That's what it is. Okay, and it's not going to be this god-awful sluggish experience where you tap Facebook and you're waiting up for 1993 dial-up speeds to open up that app. That's not how this works. So if people are wondering, what are the advancements of 5G? What are we really expecting on 5G? Here's my perspective on it, right? So it works, and it's going to work great for our military defense. It's going to work great for our medical, right? Being able to send over a patient's medical history, which, compiled and digitized could be, a size of like 8 gigabytes. Sending that in mere seconds is important, absolutely important. But that's not what we do with our smartphones. We, the end users, that's not what we do with our smartphones. So it's not a major hindrance that we don't have that blazing fast, high band speeds. You also have to factor in that, they're throwing out, well, gaming is going to be bad. Well, gaming depends on two things. One, data. Two, the latency, right? The higher the ping, the not so great experience you'll have gaming. I know this because I can game on Visible, which always has a high ping, right? The latency is always high. And I can game just fine. But when I use something that, has a lower, a lower rate, a lower ping, lower latency, it's even better. The response time between my Stadia controller and my TV, it's like really in sync. It's not measurable to the naked eye in that extent. However, the only time you'll really notice it is like when you have very low data speeds and very high latency rate, then you might see some stutter. But even then, you're not really using that much of a high data rate unless you're playing your game in like 4K and such, which some people, that's important to them. And if it's that important to them, then by all means, do not get a product that's not going to deliver on what you need. That is the whole main point of shopping for a smartphone game. That's really what it's all about, is get what resonates with you. Like if you're like, oh, the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro got hype, I'm going to get that phone. But if it doesn't meet your most important needs out of a smartphone, you're only setting yourself up for disappointment. But most people don't really do that today. Most end users, it's about social media. It's about Facebook. It's about Twitter. It's about TikTok. It's about YouTube. Sorry, that's just bugging me. It's about those things. It's not it's not about gaming. Some people don't even game. They don't game at all. Not important for them to game. So where are they really going to suffer? I find it odd that this whole na I got you game on phones is just very juvenile. It's very odd and weird that that's something that people look forward to in their day to day. I mean, everyone's gonna like what they're like. The Sammy people are gonna like Sammys. the Apple people are gonna love Apple. That's not gonna change. And at least for me, I'm not here to change anyone's minds of what they like. They like what they like. I always say that. Go with what you like. I just find it funny when they're like, what can we find so we can have something to talk about on social media as to why the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro is so bad? And they look 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 and they're like, I got it. And they jump out there and they just try to blow up the social media world with all that. And it's like, it's unnecessary. First of all, I'll say this to anybody that puts an unfavorable review on the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro at this time, and they're not part of Team Pixel or the media, you should really check it before you release it. Because if you don't have the phone in hand, why should anyone really listen to you? If you don't have the phone in hand to use, to say, okay, I've been using the phone for like 2 weeks and I found this problem and that problem and that problem and that problem. Because that's when I'll take that there's a problem with the Pixel 6, is when the Team Pixel members or someone from the press has the phone in hand and has been using it and has said this, and this. Okay, so the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro will probably have a problem there. Stop bugging me. I have my window open, so. But then again, there's also confusion between issues that relate to the phone, issues that relate to the software, right? Because you also have to think Android 12 is here now. We finally have Android 12. Pixel 3 is all the way up to Pixel 6 as Android 12. And Android 12, while it is snappier, I will tell people that it's snappier. It's much more smoother, much more fluid. And the battery is doing really, really well. I mean, it's gotten new life in my Pixel 3. I've seen better battery time with my Pixel 3. And I'm not saying that it's made my Pixel 3 have an all-day battery. The Pixel 3 is not going to have an all-day battery. Okay, a 2915 milliamp hour battery is not going to be all day or a day and a couple of hours or a day and a half, right? But I have seen improvements in the battery. There is one issue with Android 12 that still plagues me and other content creators. If you could take a look at it on your end and see if you're having the same thing, I would really appreciate it. And comment and let people know. But my only issue I have with Android 12 is the YouTube Studios app. I can use the YouTube Studios app to edit a video upon release. I can schedule the time for the video to release. I can put in all the information, the stuff into the description, video tags, all that stuff. The problem that I get with the YouTube Studios app is that when I try to select a thumbnail, it tends to crash the app. And it'll continue to crash the app and keep crashing it until I have to uninstall Studios, reinstall it, log back into YouTube Studios, go back to the video, click edit, and then click to put a thumbnail, and then it'll let me. And that's all the bug that I've ever experienced with Android 12. Let's catch some of these comments up. Side note, did you ever get to check on your Pixel 3 and 3 XL brick issues if they had any resolution? There's, that has been a hush thing. There hasn't been anything that's come out that's talked about what caused the phone to go into EDL mode, much less if there's any notable fix for it. However, I will say, so my youngest daughter is using one of my Pixel 3s and it's doing just fine. My other Pixel 3, my black one, I've used it a couple of days ago and it's on full Android 12. I updated it to the full Android 12 and it's holding up just fine. I powered it on, worked fine, powered it off. So I don't know exactly what was causing it. I don't think there's really much said about it. So I don't know exactly what happened with Gene, because I remember almost a month ago, Gene said that his not pink Pixel 3 ended up getting bricked. I was like, oh dang, like he experienced it. Yesterday on his live stream, he said that his Pixel 3 not pink was bricking and was lagging stuff. And so I'm not sure if Gene really understands the terminology of brick, but hard brick is something that you can't come back from. A soft brick you can, but you have to basically reinstall the system image in order for it to boot to the operating system. And so he was saying his phone was bricking. That's why I commented on his live stream yesterday, and I said, what's bricking? Because if it's bricked, it's bricked. There's no comeback from it. But he says that he experienced it. So I don't know exactly what happened. I don't know if he sent his phone into YouBreak iFix and it got repaired. I just remember him announcing that, his not pink Pixel 3 took a crap. So I figured his went through it too. I have to say that I'm lucky enough at this point right now that mine hasn't. It's not to say that mine will never do it, because it could. I just don't know what engages the EDL mode, what makes the Pixel 3s do that. Watching this on my Pixel 3 now on Android 12, it's still kicking. Yeah, I mean, the Pixel 3s, it's got new life with Android 12. But the thing with that and what I'm saying is that there's going to be some things that's software related, that's basically Android's fault. And then there's going to be things that's the Pixel's fault. And I think that, when there's those people who go out of their way to find something to give a negative review on the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro without having the phone in hand, like, that's very irresponsible to do. Because I can do that. There could be somebody who is a absolute, a Sammy, Samsung Knight, Samsung fan or whatever. And I can go and give 1,001 reasons why the next Galaxy Edition phone is going to be crap without having a phone in hand. I can do that too. Anybody can do that. But is it responsible? And it's like, no. When you're on this platform, you have people listening. And when people are listening, I'm not saying that people are brainwashed, but I'm saying that people will listen to what a creator has to say regarding mobile technology. And if you're putting out unfavorable stuff without having a phone in hand, that's very irresponsible to do. So I'm saying the same thing. But then again, Google Pixels never get a pass. They never do. Someone's got to find one thing and blow it up to this big when it's just this small. The fact is that the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro has a modem that's equivalent to the Snapdragon X55. It's not going to kill the experience that you're going to have with the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro. Is it going to be future-proof? No, obviously not. Not to that extent. Right? But then again, how many people buy a phone solely specifically just to have fast data speed, like fast 5G data speed, like millimeter wave? How many people find that the sole reason to buy a phone? I'm gonna tell you right now, I would bet on it. Nobody buys a phone specifically for 5G speeds. People buy a phone because there's something about the phone that they like. Of course, they want fast data connectivity, but that's not the only thing that's important to them. Photography is important to them. Videography is important to them. Accessing your apps and your service tools are important to them. Email is important to them. Media consumption is important to them. But not just being able to run a speed test and see that you can get 4 gigabits per second on the download and 1.5 gigs on the upload. That's not what people buy phones for specifically to do. Creators on YouTube, they do these speed tests so you guys got an average idea of like what it's going to be like if you're in that creator's area. Like if I throw a speed test up on my channel, it's not to say that my speed is going to be the speeds you get in your area. That's to show you guys that if you ever take a vacation out to my city, this is what you can expect with these carriers. That's pretty much it. And Carlos does the same thing, so you know what you're going to get if you go to his neck of the woods. And Steve does it, so you know what you get if you go to his neck of the woods. That's really what the speed tests are. But speed tests are not 100% accurate. Like people hang on them like, oh my gosh, you got 4 gigs on the down. That's crazy insane. But it's not really always that. It's not really always that at all. And that's the thing. This is why you see Peter Adderton tweeting that speed tests don't give you 100% accuracy of what your data is going to be, because there's a lot of things that's factoring in when you guys run speed tests, like on Ookla, NPerf, or any of those things, right? First of all, it depends on the server that you're going to connect with, right? NPerf, the reason why it has such a high ping, is that a lot of the servers that it chooses is pretty far from where I'm at. Like the closest server it'll ping for me would be Chicago, even though there's one in LA, but it will choose Chicago for me to link up with to test my speeds. Same thing, or it'll do LA. Ookla has a lot of connections with servers locally. So like for me, there's a speedtest.net server here in Phoenix. There's an AT&T server, Verizon server, Sparklight. There's just a whole bunch of them here in Phoenix that it'll link me up with to do a speed test. But of course, the speed test is going to average differently. If you were to run a speed test from your phone and then quickly switch to NPerf and run a speed test, you may see a difference in latency. And that is the reason why the distance that the connection has to be made to a server in order to test its downlink and uplink. Get back to that. Makayo says, exactly, a content creator has a wide reach of influences and people tend to make their opinions and recount them as facts. So there has to be a higher standard, responsibility and accountability. Absolutely, absolutely. I agree with you there. I couldn't have said it any better than you did. Yes, we do have an accountability that we have to do. What we say, what we put out there, we have to be accountable for. And we do have a responsibility to everybody, because people tend to say, hey, today I'm not really doing anything, let me catch up on my tech, and they come and they watch a video or a live stream or something, and then they're like, someone says one thing, it's like, oh my gosh, that's bad. If I go right now and I say, hey guys, guess what, the modem in the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro is equivalent to the Snapdragon X55, so your 5G speed is going to be near none, someone's going to run out there and just start tweeting it all over the place and be like, I heard this. Like, we don't even have the phone in hand. It's like, I can cover so much about the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro, and believe you me, like I am itching to just drop all these video ideas that I have, but I don't have the phone in hand. I don't. I keep talking about it, and different people keep acknowledging it. And yesterday, a lady's Red Tech review was like, they wanted to say something to get me noticed, and I was like, hey, it's up to you, you know what I mean? Because I have a lot of ideas of what I want to do with the Pixels, but I have no problem buying the phone, and I'm going to buy the phone. It's just going to be a lot later than everybody else that's going to get theirs in the next week or so. They're going to pump out all their videos and do their camera comparisons, compare it to this phone, compare it to that phone, compare it to that phone, and 2-week review, 1-month review, 3-month review, 6-month review, 1-year review. All that stuff is coming down the pike. They're going to have those, right? And by the time they get to like their 1 month or their month-and-a-half review, that's probably about the time where I'm going to be able to do my first impressions of it, because you know what I mean? Hey, the holidays is here. That's the only thing that sucks, right? Like, I could go and just spend the money that I want to for the Pixel 6 and get it within a couple of weeks. But then, there's things that I got to do. Like, I'm doing my Christmas shopping. I do my Christmas shopping early, so I get some good stuff. That way they're not all taken off the shelf by the time it's, tis the season to whip your credit card out. So Christmas shopping, Halloween, buying candy, also got Thanksgiving, all these things come into play. So I just can't just go and throw out almost $730 because with taxes included. No, $630 taxes included, right? It's $599 because I want to go for the $599 one. I'm not gonna, I wanted to go for the Verizon one, but I thought about it. Like, I'll just get what I can get. But yeah, so I don't have the phone in hand, so I can't go and give you guys real in-depth discussions about the Pixel 6 or 6 Pro to that extent. And shout out to the Team Pixel members who rock with me, because they help me out for my YouTube. They feed me what they can, and I'm forever grateful for that, that they embody the true essence of team. Okay, so they still adhere to the rules, right? Anything that Team Pixel says that's confidential, they won't throw that out. But if Team Pixel's like, yeah, you could talk about this, you can talk about that, these specific people, they hit me up and say, hey, dude, you should know this about the Pixel 6 and this about the 6 Pro. They give me that info, and it's info that I can comfortably talk about on a live stream or make a video about without feeling the need that I have to have the phone in hand to do that. Dude, my local bank was offering a credit card deal. Spend $3,000 and get points. I could redeem for $600 cash, and then it's 0% APR until next year. Waive the first year annual fee. Oh, nice. I don't have the best of credit. I ruined my credit when I was younger, and that's the thing that I'll tell people, right? Just because you have credit and stuff like that, don't go bananas. Like, everything went downhill when I was buying my first home. I was buying my first home at the age of 24 and made some very bad deals along the way. And, thought I could recover with credit cards and got credit cards and maxed credit cards and put myself in 12, 13 years in debt. And I'm slowly trying to pay that off to move my credit score up. So I don't have the best of credit. I'm thinking about doing what TK talked about in his video, which is basically writing a letter to TransUnion and Equifax to contest what's on my report and see if some of those can drop off, so that way it can tack on some points back up and put me back up where I want to be. Because right now, I'll tell you guys, I tried for the Pixel Pass, and Synchrony Bank actually denied me. So I tried everything that I could to get a Pixel 6 coming my way so I can pump out these videos and do my reviews on them for you guys. A lot of those things that required credit and really wasn't the best for me. And I can care less if someone wants to take this and make fun of it or whatever. I got bad credit. It is what it is. But I tried. It didn't work. Well, with Fi, I'm having a problem with Fi. And that's just because any of my addresses is not being recognized to me. So I'm just like, what? It's insane. But that's a whole totally different thing. But yeah, we do have responsibility. We do have accountability for the things that we say and do here on the platform. And going off and giving an unfavorable review just because something is equivalent to the Snapdragon X55 modem is not, to me, in my eyes, is not enough to go and say, okay, that's bad. If they were using a modem that was used for an iDen phone, yeah, then I would say, yeah, that's a problem there. Because iDen phones weren't all that great when it came to data connectivity. And if you don't know what an iDen phone is, just think Nextel and pre-CDMA Boost Mobile. My uncle told me he literally downloaded Credit Karma and then disputed stuff through them. It's been a long time. Yeah, I have Credit Karma, and I dispute stuff that way too. But I think one of them, I think it's Equifax, you have to write a letter and mail it in. You can't dispute your Credit Karma. TransUnion, I think you can. One of those two. It's one of the two. I get them confused. Nextel. I missed that walkie-talkie. I mean, you can use what the heck is that app called? I used it, and it was very, very much like the walkie-talkie feature. Oh my god, I can't remember what it's called. But it's not Voxer, because Voxer is more like leaving voicemail message, text thread type chat. This one was different. This one you actually had a button on the screen, or you can assign your volume up button to be the button for it, and it literally was push to talk. What the heck is it called? Oh, I can't even remember. I'm sorry. The next time I go live, if you're in here, I'll make sure I know what the name of the app is, and I'll tell you what that app is called. But it's very, very identical to Nextel Boost Mobile push to talk, chirp action. And it has every function like an iDen phone. You do have the ability to barge. I don't know if people had Nextel. Do you guys remember what barging was? But it does have that feature into it. But I mean, of course, it's not using an iDen radio network to have that. It's basically using data, internet data, straight out, LTE, 5G, or Wi-Fi, whatever you're on. It's using that to do that. But it's very, very much so that, it works out great. Yeah, so, I'm just going to say this straight out. And you know what? Even though I covered it, I'm still going to release the video talking about it, because I did make a video talking about the Pixel 6 and the modem that it has more in depth. So that video will drop later today if you guys want to hear that one. But I'm just here to say this. I already knew, because it's pretty much the same way. I mean, yeah, there was more hype behind these two phones being released, But the same thing that happened to the Pixel 5 last year, and the 4 the year before, and the 3 the year before that, that still seems, the A series never really had the problem because people look at it and they're like, okay, what you're getting everything that the flagship Pixels offer, you're getting it much cheaper, minus water resistance, minus wireless charging, and so they're okay with that. So a lot of people are okay with the A series. The A series doesn't get a lot of heat. The flagships do, and while this year we'll say that the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro was, they knocked it out of the park, there are some people who just don't want to let Google finally have their cake. It's like they want to dangle that piece of cheese in front of the mouse and make the mouse run that ever so long lasting spinning wheel. That's not cool. You know what I mean? Like, hey, it's time to give Google its cake. It's time to give it its path. So it didn't go with something equivalent to the Snapdragon X60. Okay, maybe they'll do that in the Pixel 7. I'm going to use the same thing that people said about the iPhone 12 when they found out the iPhone 12 had the X55 modem. And that is, they didn't do it this year, but maybe they'll do it with the 13. And I'm going to let that be that. So I do want to thank everyone that came in. I told you guys I wasn't going to be like too long. I'm going to go hang out with my kids. They should be awake now. So I'm going to go hang out with my kids and have some fun. And you guys should hang out with your family. So thank you guys for coming in. I apologize if I took you guys away from anything important. But I do appreciate you guys coming in and hanging out, chilling out with me just for a little bit. Yeah, the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro, I think people really got to stop being nitpicky. And if you don't have the phone in hand, you shouldn't make outlandish discussions about it without having the phone in hand, because, yeah, you end up looking like a jackass. People are just scared something unfamiliar, especially in this case, as the Pixels didn't have a big retail presence. Exactly. Everything comes out. I mean, you ordered yours? Awesome. So my brother's going to get his before I get mine. I won't get mine till probably a month or two later. But hey, my brother's getting his. So shout out to him. And that's my younger brother. I don't know if you guys, I'll pop his comment up here. That is my younger brother, like my actual younger brother. So, not a Hanai brother from Hawaii or anything like that. That is my actual brother. And he ordered his Pixel 6. So that's going to be pretty awesome. So, all right, Mikhail, have a good one to yourself. But yeah, I'm out of here. Y'all take it easy. And yeah, look for those videos to drop. And I'll probably go live again tomorrow evening. Till then, law. And we are done.